What happens when the symbol of separation becomes the very door of invitation? This is exactly what we discover in Mark 15. As Jesus breathes his last, a veil was torn in the temple from top to bottom. But this wasn't just any curtain or veil. Think about the detail on the curtain in the temple. What was woven into the very fabric that was torn from top to bottom? According to Exodus 26, images of cherubim adorned the veil separating the holy place from the Holy of Holies. Now, this is a striking parallel to the angelic sentries stationed east of Eden, keeping Adam and Eve from the tree of life. The very angels who once barred the way to God's presence in the garden now were embroidered on the barrier separating a holy God from sinful man. A veil that now God himself ripped apart. According to the Talmud, this curtain was no flimsy drape. It was a handbreadth thick. That's nearly 4 inches thick. So heavy, 300 priests were needed to move it. Yet in a single moment, God tears it from top to bottom. A barrier so thick, so immovable, and yet ripped apart like a mere cloth. No human could do this. This was God declaring unmistakably the way is open. Rather than a flaming sword, we now find an outstretched hand of grace. And rather than separation, we have unrestricted access to the Father. Rather than these centuries guarding the way, we have a Savior inviting us in. Through Christ, our high priest, access is forever established. Rather than a veil of judgment, we have a torn curtain of mercy. And rather than condemnation, we find communion. Rather than distance from God, we have the divine embrace of God. See, both veils tell a story of life and death, but the cross declares the way is open. Now the question is, will you enter?